Traders, and welcome to another edition of Awesomecallstrading.com. I want to welcome you to the great chat room. It's an honor to have you here. This is pretty much like our Friday, but weekend edition because this is when a lot of people will listen over the weekend. Let me turn off my phone and turn down the TV. Currently positions right now that I am trading while I am talking to you that you may hear me cash out is I got Foot Locker. I'm currently 56.85. And I'm looking for, it would be beautiful to break out through 57 and get out at 57.50 would be nice. I'm also in live in the chat room. I took this, it was a live trade. I took some here at 52.50. I started in, added all the way down, grabbed up here, and I ended up with, I believe, a 52.0203 average. And as you can see, light is a big play for us in here. And I'm looking, I have 100 shares left to close out at 53.50. And I'll explain this trade later, why it was so fun for me to play. I'm adding, also added into my Neo, and I believe I have a 588 average on that one. I added some more size down here, and the Neo is going to be just a nice paycheck. Maybe not today, but it's going to be a nice chain pack. I want to see Levi has held up too, as not too bad. A little bit of a sell-off there, probably because the market's down 300, 400 points. I currently own it at 22.47, so I'm going to continue just to hold. I'm only down 20 cents on the trade, 30 cents on the trade, so not too bad. Today was a very fun day to trade. I got up this morning at 3:30, as I normally do, because, well, I mean, there's that saying, money never sleeps. It's the same thing with a trader who craves making money and finding plays. And to me, day trading is such a exhilarating feeling to find a play, and not only just find a play, but find a setup, and then present it to a group of great people that come in the chat room like Awesome Calls Trading and present them the idea. And with that idea, you can actually make money on that idea. And it to me, it's the most fulfilling thing to do as a trader. And to watch a trader take your idea and then make money based on what you showed them and help them and taught them, and then go into the trade and actually cash out and go pay a bill, or go out to dinner, or take care of their loved ones. I think it's the most rewarding as an educator to do, and I find it awesome. And every day we're growing. I believe last night we received, I think, 5 or 6 new monthly subscribers, and we're just continuing to grow in our Discord room as well. I think we're at over 1,050, almost up there. So, anyway, as I'm talking to you, you can hear me kind of just look. My eyes are actually looking at screens because I'm making money as I'm talking to you. I'm up Foot Locker now, 5 cents, and light I'm up. And if it pushes to 53.50, I cannot express how happy I'm going to be. So I'm going to go over a few trades that we did. Again, I get up at 3:30 or 3:45 every day, 5 days a week, and I just really my brain starts to focus. I look at the market. I see how if the market's gapping up, gapping down. I get my scans up. I use Newswatch, which is right here. I have fly on the wall for the analyst calls. I look at Briefing in Play Plus, which is one of my favorites that I've used for 12, 14 years since I started trading. And I just try to find setups. I read analyst calls, I read earnings, what's gapping up, what's gapping down. I'm a very news event trader. I don't trade stocks that just because the name is out. I trade stocks that have something that it's going to move for a reason. Obviously, if the market is gapping down 100, 200, 300 points, we're going to get a pull in pretty much anything, and you could short, the Nvidias, the Apples, the Facebooks. I mean, that's kind of standard 101. But I go beyond that. I really, really try hard to find stocks that, and I'll show you like a Foot Locker, for instance. Like most of you didn't trade Foot Locker today. We did. Most of you probably just ignored the call, or didn't, or you're not in a room that would trade something like that. But I'm going to show you that kind of trade. All right, so we're going to start with our number one pick today, as you can see. This is our game plan this morning. A game plan, pre-market game plan, is something that I put together. There are some rooms out there actually copying this scenario. Oh, they call it the fire plan. Some people call it the ice cream plan. Some people call it, um, I don't know. There's different names because basically they've come from here, and so they want to have a plan. All right, because now all of a sudden everybody has to have a plan before they trade. We've been doing this for years. So today's plan was on our list was IMMP, JKS, Zoo, Cal, Hib, BPTH, Boeing, Bib, TIFF, Foot Locker, and Levi. Um, so I'm gonna start with the number one pick. It's a little small cap stock. Again, every day I have a lot of short sellers that come in here, and the first thing they want to do is they want to nail a really nice, pop and fade if they can get the shares, whether they're at Centerpoint, Cobra, TradeNet, and so I gave them today IMMP. Now I'm going to show you the news on IMMP, and I want you to see the chart. Okay. As you can see, the chart basically trades less than probably 20,000 to 50,000 shares, maybe 100,000 shares a day at the most. You can see just lots of bag holders just hold the stock, and all of a sudden they wake up, and it's a Friday afternoon, and IMMP has news, and the stock is gapping up with a push. And the very first thing that's going to happen is two things. The sheep are going to chase it because they don't understand it. Shorts are going to squeeze a little bit because they don't understand it. But then at the opening bell, the traders are going to the bag holders are going to cash out, okay, because there's too many of them, and they see their stock up a buck 50, they want out. Now, before you even figure all that out, you got to figure what's the news. Why is it gapping up to begin with? Because, okay, two things can happen. What if IMMP had significant news where they basically got an infusion of $100 million into the stock in the company? This stock would run to about $20 a share, $15 to $20 a share. So that news would elevate the stock and just let it run. What if Carl Icahn made a purchase and bought the float of IMMP? The stock would fly. You see my point? But if the news is the PR is crap and it doesn't make any sense, then the news event becomes a short. Do you follow me? News is everything. You can chart it out all you want, but you need to understand why the stock is up to begin with. So what do? We go and see what the news is. So we pull up on our scanners, IMMP, and we look and we see that the stock basically this morning was granted a patent. Okay. Um, okay. Well, the patent office has what 16 trillion different types of patents. So this is just another patent for the company. I mean, they could probably file another one tomorrow, and another one the next day, and another one the next day, and another one the next day. So a patent in Awesomecalls Trading is called short. Patent equals short. So all you have to do on IMMP is one, you can take a look at the notes. Notes clearly say any pop towards the open to 375 or more, scale in short, take the stock all day fader to 240 and under. Patent news means short. So again, entry, exit, and where it's going to go and why. Take a look at the stock. Ding, 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 ding. Pre-market had made a move before the bell even rang. I told the traders be aware in case it pops 375 at the opening bell. You could scale in short, just give it room to add. And I said the stock would come all day long down to $2.40. The stock right now is sitting at $2.57 and still heading lower. So I do think we'll get the 240. But what does this mean for you? 1,000 shares, 3,000 buying power. You make $1 on the stock, 80 cents. You make $800 to $1,000 on your money. So if you have a $500 checking account, a cash account, 6 times buying power is 3,000. You bought 900 shares with 2,700. On $900, you made $900. Made 100% return on your checking. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. All right. The next stock on our great list was Tiffany. Now, a lot of you don't trade Tiffany in your chat room, and a lot of you don't understand Tiffany, so you will refuse to trade it. And honestly, most of the moderators that run chat rooms don't trade Tiffany. All right. It's just not what they do. They rather stick to the Apples and the Nvidias and Facebooks, and that's okay. That's because they're limited. Um, they rather go play and keep things simple, stupid for traders, and not expand their brains. And here, Tiffany's just another trade. But what I love about Tiffany on earnings that you don't know, that I do know, is Tiffany gets bought up on any pullback on earnings. It's got a historical. It's been historical to do that. Word to the wise, Tiffany's always gets bought on weakness. I would long at 95.50, add to 93, and let it fly to 98 or more on the long side. I never once in this entire wording asked you to short the stock. And not once did I say the word short. I refuse to say that word on TIFF. Okay? Not once. So I want you to see that. Okay? Again, the stock closed at $100 yesterday. They did a little bit of a miss. I said to buy the stock at 95.50. I gave you the reason why. Tiffany's always gets bought up on weakness. So if you're an option player, you could have came in and bought $100 calls for the week at 95, probably made 200% on your money. It's that simple. It's like I draw you a roadmap. Buy the stock here. Stock will go to 98 or more, probably gap fill. And why? Because it always gets bought up in weakness. It's a Wall Street favorite. How do I know that? I trade for 16 years. I'm not a newbie. Okay, but it took me about 8 to 10 years to figure this stock out. So could you imagine the trader that's running a room less than 2 years? How is he going to know that? I mean, really, how is he going to know that? So that's why you don't get to trade it in your room. Simple as that. They're limited. Their brain is limited. Their exposure to the market's limited. You're not limited in this room. And that's why we exist. Right? So what does that tell you? It tells you to go long at 95.50. See the entry right here? 95.50. Sit tight because it's going to get you paid. So let's say you bought 250 shares at 95.50. Within 5 minutes, you made over $1,000 on your money. You see that? Simple. You didn't have to think. You just had to click. Anybody in the chat room had the same opportunity. Once it pulled and came down off that $100 mark, it ran again. And you could see how the investors just bought it up, even went past yesterday's close. That's because they love this stock. And the Dow's down 400 points. Kind of unbelievable, huh? I never once said to short the stock. Okay? I'm going to give you another great stock called Nike. Now, Nike, they missed on some of their guidance. I believe it was their overseas guidance. But what happened on Nike was you have to understand this stock. You have to look where it closed first. Typically, what happens on Nike is they like to pop at the open. They like to have shorts. Shorts usually will cover quickly at the open. It's a standard stock that they usually try to cover. So what I do is I anticipate that. I want to short the stock for an all-day fader because I read the report and it warrants a fade. The problem is before we get in there, I don't want people to get shaken out on the stock. So knowing this, I prepared them to say, hey, the stock will probably squeeze at the open on short covering, and then you can get in there to fade. And if you read the notes, they were pretty cut and dry on Nike. And I trade Nike every quarter or every analyst call. It's one or the other. So Nike, I want to shred the stock to 83. So I want to short it if it hits 86.50 at the open. So if it pops at the open towards 86.50, get in there and scale in there short. If it flips down to 80.81 at the open, if it pulls, then you want to bounce it back to short cover it back to 86.50. In the end, I want the stock to come to around 83. That's really what I'm looking for. The stock is gapping down. I want to pop it, and then I want to fade it to 83. Okay? So what I do here now is I set up the trade. So here's Nike. I'll give you 1 day, 1 minute. And ding, 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 ding. And here's the pop right out of the gate. So if you went long here pre-market at 84, and I even said in pre-market, I'd be a buyer here at 83.50, 84, because it's going to pop at the open towards 86. So you could have made $500 on 250 shares right at the open. Then there's the 86. It didn't quite get the 86.50 I wanted, which is fine because I was looking over here. was trying to get this up here, this area, and it ended up just fading off nicely. If you scaled in short, which a lot of traders did, you just took it down. And then you're at $82, $83 right now. I do think the stock will get bought back up and probably level around 84 to 85 over the next few days. I don't think it'll go down. Now, I'm going to show you something that's really, really cool. A lot of you don't know this, but when Nike gets hurt, there's certain stocks that get hurt. I immediately go to Foot Locker. Now, what made this trade so good is you really had to understand it. And I'm going to, for you mods that left here to run your own room, I want you to take notes because I know you're listening to this and you really are not that seasoned. So I'm going to teach you something again. And you other rooms that are in here, this is for you to learn so you can sound impressive in front of your people. This is really hard for you to understand, so I'm going to try to teach it as slow as I can, okay? Because I know you're all kind of slow people out there that run these rooms. All right, but the traders in here, we understood what was going on. I want you to see very carefully how this worked, okay? I want you to see in pre-market how the market makers were kind of telling me, dictating what they were going to do. All right, in pre-market, excuse me a second. My mates, I have my mates clean the house. So, all right, you see how they kind of flashed 200 shares down here. You see how the market makers got 58.26? You see that? Now the stock closed at 59.33. Then they flashed up here another, 900 shares at 59.82. Okay, so if somebody was trying to short, they would have got probably filled here in pre-market. There was just really no volume, 1,000 shares in volume. Okay, I want you to understand a couple things to the stock. If Nike is going to get hurt, Foot Locker is going to get hurt with it. It's just part of it's part of the branding of the two stocks. Okay, it's just it's what happens because Foot Locker carries a ton of Nike product, as everyone knows. So if Nike's hurting, Foot Locker will hurt. That's number one. Number two is Foot Locker didn't do anything wrong. So that tells me that if they didn't do anything wrong, if this sells off, I'm a buyer on the weakness because Foot Locker will end up going right back up. Why? Because they didn't do anything. This is Nike's numbers. Foot Locker still reported good numbers. They didn't do anything wrong today, but they're getting punished, which means investors will end up buying the stock back up. Then I want you to look at what I've learned over the years is when the market makers flash me down here, like this 58.25, and then they flash me up here, my first instinct is if I can gap fill this close to what it closed yesterday, right? Just remotely close to what it closed yesterday, I'm going to short this to here. So I wanted the stock to pop at the open, scale in short, and I already knew that we were going to end up here. This extra point and a half was just pudding. I'm like, well, if you're going to give it to us, give it to us. I was just mind blown that they actually, this was like a Christmas gift wrapped. Like the more they popped it, the better. I saw traders get in short 59.50, 59.40, 59.38 because they understood it. They understood what I was saying. The closer you get to that gap, it's not going to go up. Foot Locker's not going to go up. Not with the Dow down 200. Are you kidding me? And Nike earnings? No, this was going to come down. And look at the trade. So imagine if you hit short at $59, 56 bucks. You see that? A 3-point trade. Magnificent. I'm currently long right now at 56.85 average, and I'm just, buying the weakness on it because I know it'll probably push back up. And if it pulls again, I'll add a little bit more. And I'm confident that the stock will open up back to 57.58 probably Monday or Tuesday. Just an absolutely stunning trade. And I want you to see my notes, how I wrote it. I was very specific on this. I'll show it to you. Foot Locker right here. Gapping down because I'm getting hit on Nike numbers. All right, it's gapping down to $1.60. If this long pops to 59.30, see how I wrote that? 59.30. It's going to be an all-day fader to 57.50. 50 and under, and then you bounce it. You see how I scripted this? You see how I scripted it? I gave you the reason. I gave you an entry. I said long to open towards 59.30, top it off and short it and fade it to 57.50. Do you see that? Do you see the detail written in that, and just that one alone? That's because I understood why Foot Locker was going to make a move to the downside. You didn't. But that's what you pay me for. That's what you pay me $6.75 to teach you. Because let me tell you something. If you're in this room today, you're never going to forget that forever. Ever. If Nike gets hit, you're going to flip right to Foot Locker. More Nike gets hit on their numbers, Foot Locker is going to be a short. Doesn't matter if it gaps up. You know now that you're going to get paid. That's what made this trade so amazing. Okay? So that's Foot Locker. I'm going to give you another one. This morning, Morgan Stanley decided to smash Bib, and the stock was kind of gapping down about two points, I believe, and I caught it on the. I was just looking at the ticker that goes across CNBC, and all of a sudden I flashed something on the corner of me, and Morgan Stanley had downgraded the stock to underweight. Now, again, remember I spoke to you in yesterday's webinar how there are certain investors that I listen to, and I go, okay, this guy I'm going to listen to, Goldman, I'm going to listen to JP Morgan, and I present that on my one-on-one. I give you a list of the top 5 and 10 people I listen to. Well, Morgan is one of them, okay? And when Morgan speaks, I listen. I don't care. Again, look at all the other people talking to me. SVB, Lerwick, Nomura, today, Mitsu. I don't care. Whatever you're saying means absolutely nothing to me. I don't care what you think. I care what Morgan thinks. And Morgan's telling me that they're going to cut it. Also, I care about Citi. Citi came out today and cut it to 230 from 470. Remember what I told you yesterday at JP Morgan? Cutting it at $250, $200. That makes the stock a 210 value. You see what I'm saying? So I come over here and I'm just looking and I'm like, Morgan Stanley. I don't see it here, so I don't want to sit here and waste time trying to find it. But the briefing in play plus indicated, maybe it's here, right here. Hold on. Nope. I'm trying to find you the price target so you can see what I saw. But Morgan Stanley cut it to 210. 210. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? That means the stock is at 220 and under today. It doesn't matter if it's sitting at 225, 226, or it gaps up or pushes. It doesn't matter. In my world, all right? In my world, and there it is. I found it. Morgan double downgrades Biogen, okay, to 210. Boom. All I can say was short the stock. Any pop at the open towards 226, 227 on a gap fill, short the stock, short the stock, short the stock, short the stock. I wanted 220 on it. You want to see my notes? It was such a laid out trade. I had to present it to everyone. There's the pop to 227, short to 220. You see that? Short to 220. Written all over the place. There was no ands, ifs, or buts. I did the research. I know the analyst. I understood the stock. And I gave you the opportunity. It was up to you to pull the trigger. Okay? So I go ding, 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 ding. And here we go. Foot Locker. And oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's go Bib. So, and here's Bib. So you can see how Bib gapped down. So I told the traders, let it gap up. Push at the open to 227. There's 227. Zoop. It hit what? 226.81, and then it was gone. And within a good solid 10, 15, good solid hour and a half, the stock hit 220. Just like I scripted it. Isn't that beautiful? After that, I don't care what the stock does. I really don't care. I think we're seeing the bottom. Maybe we get 210 on it, but the bottom is in. I will not play this stock anymore unless Bib comes out with an announcement. I'm done with Bib. Okay? So Bib is officially finished for me. Now I'm going to give you another one. I'm going to give you two more that are going to blow your mind. Okay? I'm going to give you Zoo. Now, yesterday, I read the report on Zoo as it was coming out, and I really personally did not see anything wrong with it, but I had overnighted some, and at, I believe it was 23.98 or something, and I went ahead and took it long into earnings because, but I'm gonna remind the chat room something. Uh, I'm going to talk to the chat room for a second. Do you remember when I told you when there's so much implied that they're going to do well on the stock? Remember I told you like it was implied they were going to do well, and if they miss, remember when I tell you sometimes when they miss, they end up going right back up and filling their gaps? Remember Grub? Remember that? And it kind of taught me something. So getting back to all of you, Zoo didn't really miss that big, in my opinion. I didn't see really any big dramatic miss on it, but it did start to sell. So I ended up dumping, I think, minus 50, 60 cents after close yesterday. This morning when I woke up, the stock was gapping down here in the 21 area, and I told traders go long. And you know why? Because if you look at the language this morning, I believe it was Needham was saying buy the weakness on Zoom. Right here, I'll show it to you. This is Concord said it was a buying opportunity, which I don't give too much to Concord, but they said it was a buying opportunity. Um, let's see who gave it to me. I think it was Namor. Oh, Jeffries. Yeah, Jeffries said the metrics were strong and the growth was sustainable, and they would be a buyer. And they actually did a buy rating with $35 price target. Boom. Between that and Concord, I knew the stock was going to pop at the open. And I think, you know why Jeffries came out? Because they needed to cover some of it. Because I think they cover this, obviously, this particular stock. And it wasn't really impressive to show the investors that they had messed up on this call. And so I was a buyer. And I told everyone, I bet this thing probably gap fills at the open. So as you can see my notes right here on Zoo, it was a really good read because I had to do some homework. I said the stock would cover to 23.75 at the open, and I would long at 21 area. You see that? Homework, research. You have limited time in here. You got 5 minutes to trade. I'm going to give you something. I'm going to hand you a winner. And you see, I also played Zoo because I lost 57 cents yesterday. So I went live on the trade. I believe it was 22 something, 22.23, and I just shot it up and I sold it through 23. So I got all my money back. Okay, I was happy with the trade. I didn't lose a dime, but I want you to see how the trade worked. You ready? It was such a fun trade to watch. All right, so the opening bell comes. Here's the gap down. Buy at 21 right here. Right? 21, 21.50. What a great call, right? Now watch it go. Look where it hit. I said 23.75. 23.75 right there. That's a fat finger there. And look at it. Right to perfection. I was so proud of this trade today. I was so proud. One of my best trades, best calls today, other than Foot Locker. I'm going to give you another one. It's called Light. All right. Now I'm giving you this one instead of Boeing because Boeing was standard. You know, for me it was standard. For you, it's probably like, how'd you know Boeing would go to 365? Hey, all I can tell you is Boeing's going to go to 365 simply because Indonesia canceled 49 plane orders, and the fear is that possibly more plane orders might get canceled in different countries. Therefore, the stock's not going to go up today; it's going to go down. And with the market pulling at 365 is the area. Standard 101. I know for you that's pretty complex. You won't trade it, and I understand that your other chat rooms, but in here that was a standard 101 for all the traders in the room. This way they could buy 365 puts at the opening bell and get paid. But I'm going to give you, instead of that one, I'm going to give you Light and end the webinar with Light. What I liked about Light, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, was Light got a price target increase to $65 from JP Morgan. Okay, that's number one. Okay, you go to scanner, it was gapping up 1.5, 2 points. Now, whenever light gaps up, I want to trade the stock. But I want to gap fill it. I don't want to long the stock out of the gate. I want to short it. So this morning, JP Morgan raised their price to 65 from 50. Okay, that's significant. It's a 15-point increase. The stock's sitting at $51. So that means I'm going to get about a $2 or $3 play on it. So what I decided to do was I started looking at the stock, and the stock was sitting at it gapped up to 54.60. See that? All I can think is short, 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 short. And what do I want to do with it? I want to gap fill. What did it close? Closed at $52.08 just. So I want to gap the full gap and then go long the stock. And it's exactly what I did. I was patient. I was patient. I was patient. I started adding, and I got it. And I filled the gap. And I just went long. But from a short seller standpoint, you could have came in and within minutes made $250, $300, $400, $500 in a blink. Why? Because the stock market was gapping down. This is a gap fill. There's not enough stock up to hold it up there like that. A lot of bag holders, they're going to cash out. They're going to bring it down, gap fill it, and go long. You see how you understand the stock? Now I have to write it down for the traders in the room. AJ, how do we trade light? Well, you simply look at it. All right, so here we go. I'm giving you the reason. Why is it up? It's up 250. But why, AJ? Because JP raised it to 65. That's why. Okay. I want you to short at 54.50. All right, and room to 55.50 in case it pops. So you hear that? So I'm telling you entry and exit. Okay. Now I want you to take it to 52.50 and cover. So let's do this together. I gave you why is the stock up? I gave you an answer. What's your entry? 54.50. Where does it come down to? Where do I get paid? 52.50. So are you telling me on my first day in Awesome Calls Trading, I'm going to make $2 on a share? $2 a share on the stock. Yes, you are. And if you buy it, when I buy it at 52, you're going to make another 1.5 to 2 points on the upside. Are you serious? So if I traded only one stock today, this is all I have to trade, 500 shares. I can make 1,000 on the downside. That's correct. And I can make maybe 1,000 on the upside with 500 shares. Yes. Okay, show me. Okay, here we go. Ready? 54.50 entry, 54.40 right here. Ding, 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 ding. Pulls down, pulls down, pulls down. 52.50. There's your covers. Wait for a little bit more. And you could start buying at 52 and voila. You're now 53, almost 53.50. So I currently have 100 shares left. I'm already up a 0.22, 0.20. I get my 50. I am all done. And you want to see what else I'm getting paid on while I'm talking to you? Didn't I tell you to buy Foot Locker when I started the webinar? Didn't I tell you I wanted 57.50, and if I do, I'm going to just kill it today? Huh? Didn't I say? I got, what, 600 shares sitting here? Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do right in front of your face. I'm going to sell about 300 of that. Can I do that? Can I do that? Because I feel like I deserve... Oh, I'm sorry. Did I just sell some stock? That's what we do. Okay? And I still have a little bit more to hold right here. You see, this is what we do. We're in the greatest chat room in the world. Market's down 3, 4, 500 points. It doesn't matter. In here, it's just, I'm going to find a way to make us money. Do you realize there are people making thousands of dollars on these trades right now? Thousands of dollars? Because they listened. Because they're in the right chat room. And you're going to have that ability too. All you have to do is click at the top, pre-market notes or any of our sites. Boom, you're in the room. And watch Foot Locker now. See how it keeps going? And I will sell the rest when the market's done. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? You see that? You see that? Right in front of your face. Imagine if you were in our room and you picked it up here, 500, 600 shares. Guess how much money you're making right now? Guess how much money you're making? That's right. When you're in the best trading chat room in the world, we're always going to find you something. Afternoon trade, mid-morning trades, pre-market trades. It doesn't matter. I'm going to find you a trade. I have such a feel and sense for this market. I will always find you something. Always. And we have some of the greatest traders in the world in here. Jenny Moore, Darkside, B Trades, Fire, Palmer, Dave the Trader, and Raphael. I'm surrounded by talent. All it does is make me feel better and make me do better. So, plus we have our great, awesome Discord. You can join it anytime you want. Right there, 1,041 members in there. Isn't that beautiful? And if you ever want to listen to any of my webinars over the weekend, just flip to YouTube, and there you go. And we have just all these webinars, over 90 of them, all ready for you. Okay? Awesome calls trading. It's been a wonderful day to trade. It's almost noon. It's Friday. I'm out of here. I want to thank you for joining us today. Thank you for being a part of this great chat room. You can follow me on AJ Trader 7. And all I can tell you is it's been a fun day to trade. I'm excited, and I hope you hear it in my voice. And I hope you see how easy it is to make real money and understanding the trade. The more you understand, the better trader you'll become. Okay? Be well. Take care. God bless.